We've been stuck at home for a while now, but no more. Tourism is back. So, what employment opportunities are servicing, and when can I go on holiday? Ticker Work starts right now.
Ticker Work, in association with IntoWork, the one-stop employment shop for all things work.
Hello and welcome back to Ticker Work. Now, tourism is a large part of the Australian economy, contributing billions of dollars a year, and the sector obviously took a significant hit over the past 2 years, which was a flow-on effect from a combination of things like border closures, which certainly didn't help. However, I'm excited to inform that the industry is bouncing back, and if predictions are correct, it's going to be bigger than ever. Tourism has been identified as one of Australia's high-growth sectors over the next 2 decades. This means a lot of new opportunities for people to have a career in tourism, and joining me to discuss these updates, I have Group CEO of IntoWork Australia, Poul Bottern. Welcome back to the program. Good to see you.
Hello, Mike. Great to be here.
Now, let's talk a little bit about what you guys do in relation to this sector at IntoWork and what we might expect to see.
It really is a dynamic sector. I mean, we're talking about nearly 1 million people involved in different ways around the tourism and accommodation sector right across Australia. So that's a huge number of people. And of course, we do focus around everything around employment, skills and support. So really trying to engage with people to get the right people into the right careers, into the right jobs, and so that they can be engaged in a long-standing, meaningful career, or in some cases, just a short-term opportunity while they're studying or something at the same time. So there's both options, but this is a massive sector, huge opportunities, as you say. It's about it is all now opening up. I know a number of people that have already gone overseas. Many more of us are planning it.
Oh, yeah.
So, we've been working with large and small providers right across the sector. Flight Centre that we organise apprenticeships and traineeships for, right through to your small mums and dad businesses, organising fun experiential opportunities for people as well. So it's wonderful to be engaging meaningfully again with that, both in training, short-term placements, long-term recruitment, and in apprenticeships, traineeships.
Perfect. Well, there's a perfect opportunity to welcome in our guest for today. And Michael Johnson comes to us as the CEO of Tourism Accommodation Australia, the perfect person to speak to on this matter. Welcome to the program.
Thanks very much. Lovely to be here.
Now, Michael, obviously it's been a tough couple of years. There's no secret there. Where is the industry sitting at the moment?
Look, we're starting to see business come back. It has been a mixed return. So our popular holiday spots have been very busy over that January Christmas school holiday period, but our CBDs have still been doing extremely tough. The likes of Sydney for January finishing on 28% occupancy, which we know is pretty tough for the hotels. Melbourne a little bit more, and again that was due to the fact that they were able to host the Australian Open without Djokovic, but it still was successful and it did generate some business. But again, they finished the month of January on 39%. So the hotels normally at this time of year, pre-pandemic, would be running in the 80s, low 80s, mid 80s for January. So we've got a long way to recover still, but we are starting to see it come back now, and we're seeing certainly occupancies in Sydney for February, probably going to be somewhere around those low 30s. So this news of the international borders opening on the 21st of February is just music to our ears. Because it just sends a great message out to the world that we're ready and with open arms waiting for them to return.
Now, it's one thing to be ready with open arms, but what are the skills shortage areas that we can expect to see within the tourism, and how have they happened over this sort of strange period we've seen?
Well, I think our industry is one of the industries that was hardest hit by the pandemic. Again, once we had lockdowns, a number of businesses, continued to be able to operate from home. They could work from home, particularly in the finance and some of those other sectors. We know the building sector continued pretty much right through the pandemic. Whereas our industry, tourism and hospitality, went into those lockdowns. And when we did go into those lockdowns, it meant that a lot of our casualised staff went and found other opportunities, some of the part-timers as well. And of course, there was the other side of it, and it was very difficult for businesses to be able to hold on to people. So we had a very high level of attrition come out of the industry, and so now we're looking at rebuilding. And the other one, of course, was that our international students and our working holiday makers were pretty much left to their own and asked to return home. So the government now is incentivising to bring those international students back, and also to the working holiday makers to return. I think more so, there's so much opportunity now for those of us in Australia that are looking for a career in hospitality. There's so much opportunity because there's so many jobs available, and it's a really good time to join, because you're going to get some fantastic training. There's a lot of subsidised training now, and so that's makes it even more affordable for people to come into our industry.
Well, Michael, let's just touch on that a little bit. What are some of the things that the industry is doing to attract people? You mentioned a couple just there. Let's go into that a bit deeper.
Well, there's certainly been opportunities for school leavers. Late last year, we were certainly promoting to the schools that now's the best time. You can't go overseas for your gap year. So how about getting out and into your own country and doing your gap year? And I think we've seen a lot of last year's school leavers come into the industry, which has been very positive. And I think as Paul rightfully touched on earlier, our industry needs people to come in that are looking for a career in the industry, but also we need those ones that are going to be studying. And from that perspective, here's a great opportunity for them to start in the industry, whether it be behind a bar, working behind a bar, or whether it's in our housekeeping departments or concierge departments. It's a great way, particularly if you're studying whatever business you're studying in. When you're working in hospitality, you're learning about people and you're learning about customer service, and that is just something that you will never give up when you move on into possibly your next career. And we also find a lot of those young ones that will come in and start with us. They'll get some training. They'll certainly get some training along the way. They may be studying, but I've known over my career some of those that have studied, come out with a degree, and then say, look, I'm enjoying this industry, I'm staying. And we're pretty quick as an industry to pick them up and start steering them around, that they get that great opportunity to experience different departments and eventually come out as middle management and general management.
Well, there you go. It sounds like there's a lot of legroom for expansion, which is very cool. So what would you say are the benefits for someone looking for a career, I guess, starting out, or even a career change when it comes to joining the industry? Perhaps they haven't had any experience as well.
Well, I think there's, again, at the moment, because there is so much opportunity, it's actually quite easy. And if you look at some of the different states as well and territories, they're offering entry level, like responsible service of alcohol. You can now go and do that. TAFE New South Wales are offering that. So that's free. So that means you don't have to put your hand in your pocket, and you can actually go off and start. And there is so much work available in all. We've got our chefs as well. Has always been a difficult area for us, and I know IntoWork have done some fantastic work with this as well, getting apprenticeships up and away, getting them involved, getting them into hotels, taking some of the problems away from the hotels, allowing them to mentor these young people as they come up through the industry. And it's interesting because, I think sometimes as well there is a misconception. Some of our best general managers around the country started as chefs. And that is never actually ever understood. So people think, hang on, I don't know if I want to be in the kitchen for the rest of my life. That's not necessarily where it ends up, because people don't realise when you are a chef, when you are actually working your way up through the kitchen, when you become a chef, you're actually one of the most critical managers in the hotel. And everyone forgets the chef is a manager, just with the name chef.
Yeah, I love that. What a great little thing there.
I was also thinking that one of the things is, I think we've realised more than ever in the last 6 or 12 months, or last 12, 18 months, that we need people in this sector more than we ever have realised before, because we have such a dependence on that. We all love to go out, we all love to be able to travel around Australia and visit places, but it's such a it's an area that we need people to be able to work in as well. And as you were mentioning before, Michael, there are government incentives from a state basis right across the country. There are also federal government incentives as well, like the Boosting Apprenticeship Commencement Scheme, where people can get 50% of the wage subsidy for their apprentices and trainees, up to $28,000 a year, put towards their wages to be able to cover the costs, so that an employer can go and take people on during this time while they're still rebuilding. That's only available until the end of March, but it's a great opportunity to be able to pick up more people during this time. So governments recognise that we need a lot more people in the sector.
Incredible. And gentlemen, I'm just aware of the time, but I wanted to thank you both for coming on the program. Michael, thanks for joining us to unpack a little bit more about this sector.
Thank you very much for having me. No, it's been really good. Thank you.
Easy done. And Paul, thanks to you. Is there anything you want to finish up with today just before we go?
Look, it's exciting to be able to engage, as you say, with this sector and to be able to work with businesses right across Australia. So they can contact us anytime at 1300 99 work or on IntoWork.com.au, and we'll see how we can actually support businesses to be able to get the right people into the right jobs at the right time.
It's a breath of fresh air after the time that we've had. Thanks again, Paul. And guys, don't forget to get in contact with IntoWork, as Paul's just mentioned there. And of course, head to tickeroriginals.co for more discussions and episodes of Ticker Work as well. We're unpacking all sorts of things all the time. Thanks for joining us. Bye.